You want to see? Say hi. Say good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody. Yay. Oh. Say excuse me. Say excuse me. Did you spit up? No? False alarm? Okay, so get right into it. So I remember I posted a very short, really janky video on my phone in November when I was trying the Midwives Brew. So since then, I've learned so much. Since he has gotten here, say hi. If you are expecting mommy, I know that you are excited. I know that you are anxious. I know that you are over it. You want your body back. I get it. You just want your baby out. But most importantly, you want them out safely. I got you. So basically what I learned is why the Midwives Brew did not work. Get straight to it. And I'm not saying that it does not work, because it does. But the reason that it did not work for me, and I took it twice, the reason that it did not work for me is because I was not dilated at all. So if you are in that position and you are not dilated, I wouldn't try it, because you have to be dilated. And even my doctor confirmed this afterwards, because like most of us, I didn't tell my doctor that I was going to try it, because I just didn't, because I didn't want her to say, no, don't do it. Like, be patient. So I didn't tell my doctor that I was going to try it. But had I told her, because she's pro like natural ways of going into labor, she was like, oh, I would have told you if you were dilated to try it that day. But because you wasn't dilated, and I think I was like 50% effaced at the time. And this was 2 days before I turned 39 weeks, was my last visit with her. So when I turned 39 weeks, I immediately wanted to try, because I didn't want to try too early. And I'm glad that I didn't, because he was 6 pounds. How many ounces? He was 6 pounds, 9 ounces. And no, he was 6 pounds, 7 ounces. I'm thinking about my other baby, but he was 6 pounds, 7 ounces. So he was a nice size, but he was a little cute little baby. And so if you're not dilated, I know you're anxious. I know you're ready. But don't put yourself through drinking a Midwives Brew and what it is. So that's castor oil, which is a natural laxative. So you take this drink, you're going to go to the bathroom. Now, I didn't have, some people was just like, they went running to the bathroom. It wasn't like that for me. I was able to, move around. But when you had to go, you had to go, because that's what it is. It's a laxative. So it's the castor oil, it's the almond butter, it's the apricot juice, and then a lemon verbena tea. So you basically have this concoction going through your body. And what's supposed to happen is it's supposed to naturally, start to make your uterus contract from the pressure of your stomach. It's supposed to make your uterus contract, which is supposed to start your contractions being regular to put you into labor. But if you're not dilated already, it's not going to do what it needs to do. So I just want to go ahead and say that, because I know there's so many mommies who are just ready. You're ready to have that little one. You're ready to hold them. You're ready to love on them. But they'll be here, mommy. So stay encouraged. Stay with it. I'm rooting for you to hold your little blessing. Hey, and I know it's so hard. Like that last 2 weeks, it's so hard to be patient. And me, I was fine. I wasn't in pain or anything. I was just excited, to have my baby. And y'all, I didn't put it up here. I don't even know how I can do that. But I was I did a side-by-side picture of him and my firstborn, and they look exactly alike. And I was like, we waited 10 months to see what you look like, and you got the nerve to look like brother. He had the nerve to look just like his brother. So that's my story, y'all. And so my first pregnancy, let me just mention that, because then I don't want to be long at all. My first pregnancy, I had a cesarean. Why I had a cesarean? Just being young and uneducated, I didn't know that I had an option. It was not a medical reason why I had a cesarean. It was not a medical reason why I had a cesarean. The baby's heart rate was fine. I was fine. No fever, anything like that. I really think the doctor, they told me he was about to get off work. So the doctor was being impatient. I went in again, not dilated the first time. And I stayed 2 centimeters for a long time. And he got impatient. He wasn't even my doctor. Whole nother story. But he got a patient, and at that age, I didn't really know. I was young. I didn't know. So at that point, I wanted my baby here safe, like most of us do. So I went ahead and let them do the C-section. But as I did my research again, it was a misconception that, that Vbac's the risk of a Vbac, or that you have to have a C-section once you have one. That is the furthest from the truth. That's not true. And it all depends on what kind of cesarean that you have, what kind of cut that you have, and the reason that you had it. So if it wasn't a life-threatening situation, if you didn't get cut vertically, like down this way, if they didn't cut you this way, then you can try for a Vbac. Now, if you had to get cut in an emergency vertically, then unfortunately, because of the amount of scar tissue that goes that way, they have to do a cesarean again. But however, if you have a lateral, a horizontal incision cut, try for a Vbac if that's what you want to do. My experience was amazing. My first experience with having a C-section, my recovery was terrible. Absolutely terrible. Absolutely terrible. And so I knew that I didn't want to go through that again, and that I wanted to try for a Vbac, and it was successful. I labor long. Again, I wasn't dilated when I went in. So I labor long naturally. I'm learning, but I had no problem with that. I was totally fine. I was totally fine. And he was totally fine. And we just had to be patient. And one thing I'm glad that I learned before I went in is that some crazy girl, I don't even know who she was like, when your baby is ready, when your body is ready and your baby is ready, your body will start to push the baby out on its own. And I thought, like, what? She was like, yeah, like your body will start to push the baby out on its own. And so I was just like, I'm going to be crazy enough to try that. So I remember my nurse. So I went to the doctor on a Wednesday to get induced. So I went in Wednesday night. So Thursday, still nothing. I progressed slowly. But so I was about at a 6. at midnight. And the nurse came in and she said, can I check you? And I was like, no, because I know nothing had happened. Like, I feel the same. And so she was like, okay, I'm going to let you rest. And when I come back, we're going to practice pushing. I'm like, okay. In my mind, I'm like, I felt him drop a little more, but I wanted to try this notion. Like, what if I don't have to push for 30, 40 minutes? What if he really, slide right on out? So I'm like, I'm going to try it. Like, this is my experience. That's what I'm going to try. And so I did. And so she came in at 1:45. And again, I was like, I was like, no, I don't want to be checked. Hold on. I was like, no, I don't want to be checked. But I knew at 1:45, my brother had just left. I knew that something was going on. Like, he's low, like his head is there. If it ain't poking out, his head is there. And so she came back at 3:50, right before 4. She came back at 3:50. And she was like, okay, let's practice pushing. I said, okay. At this point, I know that his head is down there. I feel it. Like, I absolutely feel it. And so she moved the sheet and she's like, oh my gosh. She's like, don't push. Like, he's right here. I see his head. And I'm like, yeah. And I'm like, yes. And I literally pushed him in one push. Like, she ran to get my doctor. It was just such a scene. Like, my husband and my son was in the room. We didn't have time to do nothing. Like, if you were downstairs in the lobby, my mom didn't even have time to, to make it. I'm like, call my mama. If you was at the vending machine, I had him so quick that you couldn't make it from the vending machine back to my room. That's how quick I had him. So they came in at 3:50. And yeah, 3:50. And they was trying to hurry up and get everything ready. It took them about 5 minutes to set up the room. He was here at 4. Like, it happened so quick. Literally, I pushed him out in one push, in one contraction, because he was ready. So mommy was trying not to be impatient, but I just wanted to meet you. Tell people I just wanted to meet you and hold you and love on you. So I understand what y'all going through. I'm going to cut this short because, that's pretty much all I have to say. That's my experience. So if you are not dilated, I'm sorry, mommy, but don't, put your body through that unless you're just trying to get a good cleanse before you go to the doctor. I hope that helped.